Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I sound like arse.
Coming up today, some devastating news on a WWE departure.
News on how AEW will protect their wrestlers when TV starts.
And the big thing at All Out that really pissed Tony Khan off. This is the news.
So we are going to start things off.
Casual, this, isn't it?
It's the wrestling couch or whatever we came up with in the preamble. We're going to start things off by saying that the biggest story today is that there's going to be a big story later in the week.
Ooh.
Which is kind of a cop-out, that really. But this comes to us via a friend of the channel, Brian Alvarez of Figure 4 Online / The Wrestling Observer, who reported on Saturday. Wow, my voice is doing all kinds of crazy things today. He reported on Saturday, it did it again. Oh my goodness. That something big happened internally in WWE the day before, and that the thought within the company was that it would come out over the weekend. It did not, and now they are preparing for something that could potentially be as big as the NXT US Network TV deal to break this week. I have a quote from Alvarez here. He says, "I don't know precisely what the news is. I do know that something happened within WWE that the people who do know about it were expecting to get out, but it didn't. The feeling is that it'll get out sometime next week." And he says that those who know what it is consider it a very big story and that something absolutely happened in order to trigger it.
So to clarify here, this isn't something that WWE may necessarily announce this week, but it's something that all the sources are going to be leaking over
it's something that might just come out.
So we have to be very careful. I realise we get done on this a lot of the time, but the amount of bollocks that's going to be coming out going, oh, our sources tell us Vince McMahon's stepping away.
Yeah, Brad Shepard's Twitter account is going to be something else this week, isn't it? But no, I think a lot of people will be looking out for this. A lot of people will be waiting for this. As usual, pay attention to the four people who really know stuff, that being Meltzer, sorry, comment section, but it's true, Mike Johnson, Sean Ross Sapp, and Ryan Satin.
Oh, sorry, and Ryan Satin, yeah. Five. Us.
Yeah, we count as one, because we're really half a man each. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. 2019 has been a crazy year for wrestling news, and if it's as big as the NXT TV deal, that's huge.
Faster, what do you think it could be?
Well, there's all kinds of speculation on them going around online. A lot of people suggesting that maybe WWE have acquired another promotion. A lot of other people are like, well, maybe they're finally going to bring in the tiered network subscriptions with the independent footage. We already know that some ICW stuff has actually been uploaded in secret. There's a little clip of Leighton Buzzard or Joe Hendry, I believe, that was erroneously appearing in people's searches the other week. So could be that, could be anything for really. It could be, I don't know, Stephanie McMahon is just gonna shave her head. I don't know, something.
Well, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and then when it does actually come out and you're correct, you can boast to all your mates, or just to edit the comment, I suppose, and just say what it actually says and then lie about it anyway.
Yeah.
But let us know. Get us in the comment section below. But we move on now to some devastating news around a WWE wrestler departing, because per Squared Circle Sirens, unfortunately, we have to report the news that Kacy Catanzaro has quit WWE after suffering an injury to her back. Now, this is not a case of her being upset with WWE or having any issues with the company. This is purely injury related. And for someone who was one of the shining lights in the women's division, someone tipped for big, big things, this is awful.
Yeah, it's a real shame, because while she hasn't really settled into like a regular TV role, as some of the women in NXT have, everything we saw of her was really cool. Like she's
like the face of the performance center.
Yeah, she really is, because she's all over like social media and all these like backstage things they do. She's everywhere. It's very clear that they had big plans for her. And everything she did was loads of fun. Like, she was obviously not a complete performer, but her experience on things like American Ninja Warrior, she had all kinds of like gymnastic and athletic spots that no one else was really doing. So that thing where she like handstand to prevent eliminations and then climb up the ring post, like she's done.
It was amazing, the Rumble, wasn't it?
It's great stuff, and it's a shame because not everyone has these skills. Very few people do. And while she maybe wasn't like complete as a wrestler, wrestling skills can come later. When you have certain marketable traits like that other people don't have, you can become a star if the in-ring catches up to an acceptable level. So I'm not, upset because it's someone I've never met before, but it's a real shame.
Yeah, I think it's not, I'm going to say missed opportunity, that's the wrong sort of phrasing, but yeah, like you say, she showcased her talents on the brief moments we've seen her on the main roster, and yeah, I was really hopeful for some big stuff. Obviously, she's a huge proponent for other half, Ricochet, and Yeah, it's just a great loss to the industry, in my opinion.
Real shame, and best of luck to her, however, and what she chooses to do next. Let's talk a little bit about AEW television. Kicks in on October 2nd. The Young Bucks spoke a little bit about their plans for
A
TV.
month today.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Wow. Wednesday nights, don't have a show name yet. That's thought to be coming in the next couple of weeks. But the Young Bucks were speaking during their post-all-out media scrum to the press, talking about how they are going to cycle wrestlers on and off television, not only to prevent the audience from getting burned out on them and getting bored and thinking everything's normal, but also to protect the wrestlers and their health, their well-being, their general freshness. This is a really good idea.
This is something that I've been crying out for in WWE for a long time. This is the reason why when someone gets an injury in WWE, I say, oh, maybe this is a good thing because they're off TV for a while. But yes, just cycling people in and out so they don't get tired and the viewers don't get tired. It makes so much sense. And when you've got such a stacked roster like WWE has, and by the looks of things, like AEW are going to have, just makes sense.
Yeah, it's really a no-brainer to me. It's smart, logical, it's really good stuff. Obviously, the AEW won't be having such a hefty schedule as somewhere like WWE helps as well. I'm all in favor of this. However, if you really want to protect wrestlers' health, how about some healthcare, boys? You know, we've been talking about this for ages. That would be nice.
Exactly. Let's move on to our final news story of today and continue talking about All Elite Wrestling and All Out. Obviously, a fantastic show on Saturday night. You can see all of our views on it by checking out the rest of the videos here at WhatCulture Wrestling. But the one thing that really, really pissed me off, also pissed AEW.
Was it the Chris Jericho thumbnail?
It wasn't the Chris Jericho thumbnail. If you don't want wrestling spoilers, don't go on social media or YouTube.
Facts.
It's really simple.
It's not hard.
But the one thing that pissed me off also pissed Tony Khan off, and that was, of course, the incident with Pharaoh coming out for Cody's match against Shawn Spears and Pyro. Myself and Adam Nicholas were doing the live stream reactions for it, and it was the one thing we got genuinely angry about. We were joking about the fact, well, seeing as Pharaoh's coming out, guess Cody doesn't get a Pyro. No, all of the Pyro in the world, and that poor dog, which astonishes me anyway, that it doesn't panic more when it comes out and there's just baying fans shouting, was dragged out there when it clearly was terrified, didn't want to go anywhere near there. And obviously, Brandy and Cody and DDP and MJF all tried to calm the dog down, but it seemed like, for me, they should have just called it and said, yeah, maybe just let the dog go and recover backstage. Khan said he was not happy with the dog being scared. He was not certain the animal should have been brought out and seemed to indicate that AEW may not be doing that again. And Cody himself tweeted, he's fine. The mortars, which are the really noisy pyros, shouldn't have fired. He got spooked just like with Thunder. I'm glad he saw me though. He's excited to meet folks tomorrow and help out the Paws shelter. Yeah, it was really one of the worst bits of All Out for me.
Yeah, it was awful. Like, as someone who's owned dogs in his life, I was absolutely raging at this whole thing. It's ridiculous. Like, the one big no-no as a dog owner, keep them away from loud noises. Now, I know that those specific pyros were meant to go off, and I know Cody loves his dog, obviously, and like, everyone loves Pharaoh, and it's cool to see him, and it's a nice little cute thing, but maybe stop having him on shows. The poor thing was petrified. He couldn't wait to try and charge back down that tunnel. Tail was between the legs, and they kept bloody pulling him out. Like, they're like, hey, no, you come with us. It's ridiculous, man. Like, they absolutely deserve to be kind of dragged for this, and I'm glad that they have.
I get it that Cody, you know, in Cody's mind, it was good that they brought the dog out because seeing Cody would hopefully calm Pharaoh down. But at the end of the day, I think Brandy or someone backstage should have just seen that, whether or not those were meant to fire or not, just call an audible there and either send the dog backstage with someone else or just take the dog back yourself, because I know there was all the speculation about, who's going to be in Cody Rhodes' corner, but that should be the priority. But
totally agree.
I'm glad to hear that Cody has recognised it more importantly, so has Tony, and AEW say they shouldn't do anything like that again. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, if you want to get in touch, everyone's favourite misfit starts us off with a question today, saying, could Kenny Omega's current losing streak of sorts be a build to him working with New Japan to, quote, find himself? It would tie in with Moxley going to understand Omega, and it's rumoured that Omega does have the option to work with them, just like Moxley did.
Yeah, I think that might be the best case possible scenario, because I would love to see Kenny Omega back in New Japan doing bits. I think it's a really good idea creatively and professionally. However, given the reports from Meltzer and company that there's apparently no working relationship in existence and that New Japan haven't even reached out to Kenny Omega, I am very doubtful.
I would like to see it. I'm hopeful that something like that can be worked out. I think it would make sense for both companies to do some sort of talent exchange every now and again, not too regularly, but for big shows perhaps that they could work something out. At the end of the day, these guys have worked with this company before, and I realise that loyalty is a big thing, and that could be the real stumbling block here, that they left New Japan to sort of make their own company here. But I think Kenny Omega's current losing streak is one of the most fascinating storylines in All Elite Wrestling right now. And to say he's on a losing streak, not having bad matches, is he?
No, they're all right, aren't they? Pat match, fine, yeah.
A lad from round here just submitted, well, not submitted, knocked out, basically, technical knockout, pass out, whatever you want to call it.
It's from Wall's End, which is like there, through that wall. It's
ridiculous.
Crazy.
Congratulations to Pac, and loved his interruption of Hangman Page's interview post-match as well. Midnight Writer gives us our second question today, saying, since both were unsuccessful at TakeOver Cardiff, which was a surprisingly good show, wasn't it? Not that we had low expectations, but blew a lot of people out of the water with that one. Do you think Tony Storm and or Tyler Bate will join the NXT roster full-time? They'll need stars when they move to USA and could build a division around either of them.
Yeah, for sure. The Tony Storm loss in particular felt like a see you later moment. She's more than ready for it. The title change felt kind of abrupt and weird. So yeah, I would absolutely say that's on the cards. Bate is interesting because Pete Dunne is now obviously primarily an American-based wrestler as well. They could take him and Trent Seven over, good boost for the tag division, but he'd also be a great single star. So I can see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive congratulations, by the way, to former WCPW and Defiant wrestler Kaylee Ray, who is now the new NXT UK Women's Champion. I think we had over the weekend, when you count Royal Quest, NXT UK TakeOver, and AEW's All Out pay-per-view, over 35 wrestlers that used to wrestle for WCPW were on those shows. So you're welcome. Fatima Khan with our final question today, saying, who do you think will challenge Jericho for the AEW World Championship first? It has to be Pac, doesn't it?
Pac, well, I think going by the interview interruption, they're going to revive the Pac Page program.
I think so too.
So I don't think it'll be him. It's a really tough one to tell, actually, because your obvious choices are, well, there's Kenny Omega, but he's coming off a loss, so that's not going to work. There's Jon Moxley, but he's injured, and when he comes back, they're clearly going to do the Omega program again. I have no idea, man. Like, really, legitimately, no idea, and that's really exciting because it's hard to forecast. Luchasaurus, why not? Why not?
Well, we're going to be doing a podcast on the future of AEW later on, so if you want to listen to that and find out our views, all you need to do is subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts, including today's news, if you ever miss it and you want to hear it and you're out and about on the go. But should we move on to today's and finally? And we stick with Twitter and a guy who very nearly got kidnapped by the Dark Order at All Out, Trent Beretta. A stellar performance between him and Chucky T, and of course, Orange Cassidy at All Out. But he tweeted something that I feel needs reiterating here because it makes so much sense. Trent tweeted just a few hours ago, make sure to pick a side, AEW or WWE, and be unreasonably mean on the internet to anyone who's not on your side, and it will make you feel good.
That's kind of exactly how it's gone so far, isn't it?
Yes, come on guys. Look, I realise we kind of have to be impartial because we're covering both, and we talk about New Japan and Impact and all these sorts of things. But regardless of whether or not we did this as a job, I just enjoy the fact that there are now multiple companies, and if you want to just take it as a WWE, AEW thing, two great companies producing great wrestling. Yes, they may be going partially head to head, and they're obviously competing with each other, but not in the same vein as sort of the Monday Night Wars. But you can enjoy both. Why not both?
Yeah, like just because you have a favorite doesn't mean that the other thing automatically sucks. I hate this tribalism. I hate how partisan everything is. I hate this. I hate everything about modern wrestling discourse with regards to AEW versus WWE. Yes, it is a wrestling war, just don't be a dick.
Exactly, what he said. Yeah. Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And send us Twitter questions at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Hackett.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. You can follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. And make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling for daily wrestling podcasts on wherever you get your podcasts from. My thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.